Some website owners know that overlay widgets won't make their websites accessible, but yet they still insist upon them. There's a marketing lure that overlay widgets have over website owners. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I've told a client directly that the overlay widget would not make a difference, and it didn't matter. I've heard the same from other consultants. People are drawn in by overlay widgets, and some tell me that it's because they see it as a stopgap or a temporary solution or a temporary fix to accessibility while they supposedly work on it, or they'll get to it one day. But in the interim, they see the overlay widget as this stopgap. So the first bullet point I have on the whiteboard is no, unequivocally no. We know it's not. And so if you're, the primary concern here would be litigation. So they're hoping, the website owners are hoping that they've installed this widget and it will stop a lawsuit. I'm going to link to overlayfalseclaims.com. There you will find a list of lawsuits, complaints that have nevertheless been filed despite a website owner having an overlay widget installed. Name brand doesn't matter. So the second bullet point I have is just that. It doesn't stop lawsuits. Doesn't. Adding to this, I've had two attorneys on this channel, on the ADA book, that have spoken about overlay widgets. I've asked them directly, do these stop lawsuits? No, they don't. The third bullet point, it doesn't make your website ADA compliant or accessible. Why? Why is this the case? Because to do so, you must make your content and your code accessible. So you have to remediate or fix the underlying code and content. When I say content, what do I mean? Videos, images, audio, so your podcast, text. You need to make your content accessible. You need to make your underlying code accessible. The overlay widgets are rendering superficial adjustments. So I'm drawing a box with some lines on it to indicate this menu of options setting. Yes, I understand. The overlay widget, it allows you to change the color contrast, right? You can highlight certain things. You might be able to zoom in, right? On the website, we know that these changes are available and they can be rendered superficially, but they don't change the underlying code and the content, right? So yeah, you can have these options available on your website. And the hope is that the overlay widget does not impede access to the website in some way, form, or fashion, because sometimes it does. But that notwithstanding, it doesn't make your website accessible. So it's just like some options you have if you want to feel good about yourself, but they're not, they at most offer nominal benefit, and that nominal benefit may be completely offset by the fact that they introduce accessibility issues, or just the fact that they could add confusion. Someone can go to the website and then they have to wonder or not, is the website accessible? Do I have to deal with this anyways? Why is this here? What are the options? What is the learning curve here? What settings do I need to have in place? If you look through the menu of options and you just ask yourself objectively, would I want to go through and decide all of these different options? Then you have part of your answer, right? This could introduce more trouble than what it's worth anyway. So you could have these superficial adjustments, but they may be completely outweighed by the problems that are introduced. One more bullet point I have on here, strategic approach. So if you really want a stopgap or a temporary solution, then why not just start working on your website? And what you can do is, if you strategically approach accessibility, then you can lower your risk as you go. And that's what I have on the whiteboard. So lower your risk as you go, reduce your risk by prioritizing the issues that plaintiffs' lawyers are looking for. And so on the whiteboard, I have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start with the most commonly claimed issue and then work your way down. This is a way to reduce your risk. And so we're working similarly under this same frame of thought, where we're trying to have some sort of temporary stopgap. Well, it's a way to this is a way to legitimately reduce your risk as you're working on accessibility, rather than just hoping that this plugin, this overlay widget that you've installed can instantly do this. It can't. But what you can do is you can start taking care of these commonly claimed issues and then give plaintiffs' lawyers less and less to go on. Their favorite issues will no longer be an issue on your website. So we all know, I just did a video about this the other day, alt text, everything surrounding alt text. I'm not going to go into it here, but alt text is the #1 most commonly claimed issue in litigation. So if we take care of non-text content and we provide text alternative, that's going to take us a long, long way. But the point here is that if we're working under this, if we're working under this idea that we want to have a temporary fix, then why not? You don't have to. You're not going to be able to make your website accessible in one fell swoop. But what you can do is you can start working down through the issues in a way that you are taking out this plaintiff's lawyer's favorite issue, and then you're taking out their second favorite issue, and then you're removing a third issue. All the while, you're genuinely improving the accessibility of your website. So you're improving access, and then you're also reducing the amount of issues that are available for plaintiff's lawyers to look for. And then eventually you get to the point at about 15 issues where plaintiff's lawyers really don't have much to go on. So of course there are more considerations, but what are the plaintiff's lawyers looking for? Let's resolve those. Let's do so genuinely. When you do that, that is your interim solution. And that is where is at that point, then you eventually work to WCAG 2.1 AA conformance. But in the interim, why not take care of these issues that plaintiff's lawyers are looking for? Some are technical, others are beginner friendly, and anybody, even a non-technical person, can start resolving them. But that is your temporary solution, not an overlay widget. My ADA compliance course directly addresses this. What the course does is it tells you the 15 most commonly claimed issues and then how to find those issues and how to fix those issues strategically so that they're prioritized. The course already has prioritization in place, but importantly, it tells you exactly what to do. So your team can take this course, you can buy the course, give it to your team, and then tell them, follow the instructions in this course, and you will significantly reduce your risk of litigation. Why? Because you've resolved the issues that plaintiffs' lawyers are looking for. That is a temporary solution as you're working towards full WCAG 2.1 AA conformance.